Another kit build. This one is slightly different because it's on a long circuit board. There we go. So this is a graphic equalizer. Sound comes in, gets processed here. There's the LEDs flash and then the sound goes out again. Quite a nice board this. It's white, as you can see. Some of the values of the resistors and components are printed down here. Some of them aren't, which go all the way around there. And on the reverse side, again, it's very difficult to see the tracks, but it actually makes soldering of these slightly easier because you can solder on these pads with relative ease. The components themselves, we've got LEDs, different colours. Got a lot of resistors here. I presume they're the ones that go around the edge of the board. A couple of other resistors that we're going to have to get values for. Switches, plugs, and a capacitor. Oh, there's the main IC that goes and controls a lot. Got a bent pin on there, look. Better not break that. Another one there. Okay, so let's get this on the vise and have a look at it. Right, I've got it on the vise now, and we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 resistors, 8 this side, 8 this side, and here we've got a lot of resistors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So these 16, without getting the colours checked, everything like that, needs to go on these positions here. So I'll do one. Let's get the soldering iron on. There we go. So we can put that in there. And the rest of the resistors can go in all the way from the bottom to the top. They seem very thin, these do. Okay, I'll solder those up and come back to you in a second. Right, that's got those first couple done. So I'm going to continue doing the rest of them, and I shall be back with you shortly. Right, that's got all the resistors done, 8 each side, 16 in total. So what I need to do now is to turn the board over and we'll get the components of this end done. Right, we've got it turned round. Apologies, it's actually upside down, but the next 4 components I'm going to do are these little capacitors here. These are marked with 104, and there's actually 4 of those, and we can get them in because they're quite easy to do. Okay, so the board's not going to flick around because it's a bit long. Let's see if we can just move that slightly. No, still not going to move around. This is going to be awkward, isn't it? There we go, that's got it. Right, so I'm going to flick that over. Okay, so that's got the one in. So how can we do this? There we go. And the third one is just there. I'll flick that over and do the legs on those quickly. There we go. And then the last one is right in the top left hand corner. And we can just quickly solder those up. There. Snip the legs off. Right, that's got those done. So that's the capacitors. 4 little ceramic capacitors, those done there, and the resistors here. So next thing we need to look at is the other resistors that are dotted around the board. Right, for resistor testing, because I'm colourblind, I use my little resistor tester here. So what I've done is I've connected a couple of flyer leads here, and I'm going to use a couple of croc clips because there's quite a few resistors to test. So I don't want to keep bending them. So the easiest way just to use a couple of clips like this. So I've got the resistor on there and we'll do a quick test. There we go. And that's coming out at 470. So that's a 470 resistor. And then what I've done, if we just swing the camera around here, you can see that I've got a piece of paper out and I've tested each individual resistor, and there's a 470. So when I tested it before, it came out at 468, but rounded up, that is a 470. So I've tested all of them here, as you can see. And then what I've done is I've checked online, and I'll do a link as well so you can see as to what the resistor values actually are, which correspond to the circuit board, which is currently sat over there. So once I know which resistor is which, I can mark it down, which I've put in the circles there, and you can also see that we've got two of those and one of these, which also helps to identify which is which. So now I've got these laid out here and I've got them tested on my tester. I can then carry on now and actually solder them to the circuit board. Right, so the next thing to do is to actually put the resistors onto the circuit board. So we're going to start with the 10Ks first of all. They go down here. So we'll take them off the little cardboard that it comes on. That's one of them. That's the other one. Again, I'm just going to, I know it's slightly off camera, which I apologise for, but I'm just going to bend the legs. There we go. Okay, so next one is the 47. Put that one in. There we go. And the 470. And then the 330. And then we've got the two 1Ks. And finally, the 10. There we go, so that's got those done. So I'll move the camera and then we'll get them soldered up. Right, so the next thing we need to do is put on the capacitor that I missed before. I do apologise for that. So that little capacitor goes in there. Just open the legs out a little bit. There we go. We've also got a transistor, which is here. If we look at the end of the transistor, we can see that it's got a flat and a round. So that goes on the circuit board with the round bit pointing to the edge of the board and the flat bit to the middle. So that, oh, I've just spotted a slight problem. Right, let me see if I can show you that. So if we zoom into where the transistor is going to go, which is there, you'll see that the middle hole is actually got some solder in it. So somehow I've got some solder in there. Let's see if we can get that out. So it's just down there. Doesn't want to move. So what I'm going to do is, it's going to be a bit difficult to do it like this. Right, I'm going to try and hold the soldering iron on one side. I can't see. That's got it. So, as I was saying, the transistor will go in just there, like that. So it's a capacitor in, the resistor in. Right, we have another capacitor which goes down here, and as you can see we have a positive side. On the capacitor we have the negative side, which is the short lead, and the positive side, which is the long lead. So we can put that in there, and if you look, the pattern's actually showing, so it's against the board, so it's an angle. So I've just bent it slightly, like so. There we go, and that can go on there. And I shall move the circuit board for you in a second. Do apologise. Right. There we go. So what we've got here, we've got the capacitor which is down here, that's that one there. We've got the small capacitor which I missed before there, and we've got the transistor legs just down there. Right, okay, so that's got them done. Right, so I think it's time that we put the IC on. There it is, right. So as before, This is my little tool to straighten the legs out on the IC. So we've got a bent one there. Look, let's just see if we can just straighten those out slightly. There we go. Right, okay, so pop that in there. Okay, so that's given us some nice straight legs. So let's have a look. At the top here, we've got a little indent just there, and on the IC, which is here, we have an indent just here as well. So that matches up with the one on the board there. So let's see if this fits okay. There we go. That's fitted okay. That's nice. Let's turn it over. I'm going to hold it with my finger the other side. Right, so we need a dab of solder on there. Just to hold that pin in place. Like that. I'm just going to put a dab of solder down the other end. Look at that flipping bauble on the end there, look. Right. Okay, so just going to gently push the IC with my finger and melt the solder, just so we know it's home, it's against the actual board. Just give that double check. So we can see the profile here, so it's nicely flat against the board. So that's okay. And we can get those legs soldered up. There we go. Okay, so that's got that one done. Okay. And it's just fallen off the vise. It's good, isn't it? Right, okay, so what we've got left then, we've got a power switch here, we've got a microphone and 2 jack sockets and a switch. So let's have a look, let's see what we've got. So here's the microphone. It's got a plus and a minus. Okay, it's not indicated particularly well which is a plus and minus on it, but I think we can check that. So get my multimeter, continuity test. Because I think one of them will be connected to the case and one of them won't. Yeah. Okay, so that one's not connected to the case. That one is. So the one closest to the camera is the plus. So let's put that straight in the board where we remember which way around it is. Good. Let's got that one done. And what else we got? Well, we've got a let's have a look. So we've got quite a big connection here, which has got 4 and one in the middle, so that must go on here, like that. Okay, right, so that needs to be soldered up, and it's not going to hold it in place. So let's see if we can do this like this. There we go, so that's just got that held in place. So this is the mic leads. Let's get this done here. And now the socket connections. There we go. Right, okay, so what else we got? So we've got a switch here with 4 legs on it. And we've got another switch here with 2 legs on it. Sorry, 6 legs on it. Okay, let's see if we can... Well, it's got a little marker on the board just there. It's got like a little cutout on it. I can't see anything obvious on this switch, but there is, let's see if I can get it focused up. So there is a slight marking just there. If I turn it over, there isn't that side. So I'm going to put that against the marking on the board down there. Like so. So that's just to hold it in place while I can solder the rest of them. And then the other 4 here was for the other switch. There we go. Let's get those done and those done. So we're nearly there. We're very nearly there. So what's left? Okay, so we've got this socket here to do, which is this small one here. It's got 3 on it, so we can pop that in place like that. So I'm just holding it again with my finger behind there. Dab a solder just to hold it in place. There we go. Right, well, I think that's all the main components done. Let's just have a check, make sure I've not missed anything. No, that's everything there. So the next thing to do, the big job, is all the LEDs. So here's the LEDs that I've got to put on the board. We've got red, green and blue. How do I know that they're red, green and blue, do you say? Because I'm colourblind. Well, I can see blue. I can see this is a dark spot and that is a lighter spot. So to me, that's red, that's green, that's blue. If I've got it wrong, I've got it wrong. So what I can do also is I am not going to do this with each individual LED, but you can take one out, pop it on a little coin battery, and we can test it. So that's definitely blue. Put that back in there. Take out the lighter spotted one. Check that. Which I'm going to guess is green because it looks green. Or it's got a lighter brown to me. And the darker brown, which to everybody else is red. There we go. On these LEDs, there's a long leg. Scroll in it. There we go. There's a long leg and a short leg. On the battery, we've got a positive and a negative. So the long leg is positive. So you just pop it on there, drop it on the table, pop it on there, and there we go. We can test it. Easy as that. So there we go. Red, green, and blue, ready for the circuit board. So with our board now the right way around, we can see here on the circuit board we have a square connection and a circle connection. It's the same on all these all the way around, square and circle. Well, that means that the positive is on the square side and the ground or the negative is on the round side. And on our LED we have a long cable and a short cable, just the same as the capacitor. Long cable is positive, short cable is negative or ground. So we can pop that in. Long cable goes to square like that, and we can solder it in place. Now, as I said, we've got red, green and blue. Now what it should be, according to the picture on the internet, is it should be red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue, all the way up to the top. So that's why I've missed those two out just there. And we can pop that one in there. So what I'm doing here is I know, for example, that all the red ones should go on there. Let's get some more out. So if you can see the end of the board, 1, 2, 3, square is positive. So there we go. So I can now fill in all these lines where the red LED should go. Right, so that's got all the red LEDs in place. So all I need to do now is flick the board over and solder them up. Now you've seen me soldering plenty of times before, so I'm going to pause the video now. I'll solder the red ones in and the green and the blue, and I'll do that all the way along, and you can join me towards the end. So I've now got all the LEDs on. There we go, and those observant of you will notice that there's a line missing just there. That is because I am a dipstick. I was happily soldering all the LEDs on and I missed a line, so that's entirely my fault. Red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue. That's supposed to be red. In effect, it's there. Red, green, blue, red, green, blue. So you should actually end up with a red on the end here, not a blue as I've got. Red, green, blue, 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 red. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to solder an extra row of red in here, so it'll be a nice pattern all the way there until the midway point, and then the rest of the LEDs there. I'm going to say that that is the midway point that the volume shouldn't peak past. That's my excuse, and I'm going to stick to it. So there you go. Even I make mistakes occasionally. So there we go. That's got all the LEDs done on the board. Let's move the camera. There we go. So it's got all the components on, all the LEDs on now. All we need to do is add some power. Right, so these are the cables. That's an audio cable where you can split the audio input if you've got one going to headphones or speaker. We've also got power cable here, and we've got another audio cable here. So just put the audio cables to one side for a moment. We'll undo this. Right, okay, so I've got a USB socket on the wall. Let's plug that in. Now I believe there is a test that we can do. Okay, so it's doing that all right. If you press the power button and the mode button at the same time, it should do a test. So let's try that. There we go. So what it's doing now is it's switching each individual LED on. Hope you can see that all right. There we go. So as you can see, it is reacting to the microphone, which is good. Excellent. So 1, 2, there we go. Sorry if that just hurt your ear rolls. So I think that's working okay. Mode button itself. Or is that on off? That's on off. That must be the mode button, that one there then. Yeah. So that's affecting the delay. It's coming down, or sensitivity or something. Anyway, that seems to be working all right, which I quite like that. Hope you enjoyed listening. Hope you enjoyed watching me make this. I'm just trying to think if I've got an audio source. I've got an audio source on my camera, which I'm using at the moment, which is actually my phone. So I'll stick an audio source on somewhere, and hopefully it should work all right. But that's working all right. If you like it, thank you very much. Please give it a thumbs up. If you like my videos, please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.